Let's jump right into another envelope junk journal folio adventure. What you see here on the screen are folios I crafted in the past, each with its own twist of envelopes, pockets, and hidden foldouts. If they spark your curiosity, you can find their links in the description box for a burst of inspiration. These are a blast to create with their endless configurations. Insert an envelope here, a pocket there, maybe a fold out for an extra surprise. So for today's folio, we'll be selecting a kit from the Digital Collage Club and weave in the rustic touch of coffee-dyed papers. Ready to get creative? Let's begin our journey to construct a folio that's as unique as your creative vision. Welcome, it's Barbara from Vienna, Austria. Hello again, Editing Barbara here. Upon reviewing the final cut of this video, I noticed it was quite extensive. So to keep things digestible for you, I've divided it into two parts. In this episode, we focus on assembling the basic structure of our folio and choosing the perfect papers for our project. Enjoy! So let's start at the very beginning. I have 10 envelopes here. These are the approximate measurements, so 9 times 6¼ inches or 22.5 times 16 centimeters. I have 10 of these. I won't need 10 of these. I'm guessing maybe 5 or 6, but I don't know the exact number at this point. This is what mine look like. You can use any size you have. They should be the same size. No matter what size you choose, just make sure they are the same size. And I don't want these white, I want these coffee dyed. So I'm going to do my quickest coffee dyeing method. This is just a container of hot water. I'm going to use my instant coffee. This is the cheapest one I could find. I don't have specific measurements. So obviously, depending on how dark you want your mixture, you have to add more or less coffee. That should be fine. So I'll let this cool for about 10 to 15 minutes just so it's not so hot when I put it on the envelopes. So in the meantime, let's pick out a kit for our project. So these are the latest kits. So this is a design team project for the Digital Collage Club, and in case you're new here, let me show you this exclusive membership-based website, which offers a vast collection of royalty-free digital craft supplies as well as tutorials. When you sign up for either a yearly or a lifetime membership, you gain instant access to a treasure trove of unique images and resources. Each week, new images are added, providing you with fresh inspiration. And the best part is you can even sell the craft items you create using these images. So there are two kinds of memberships available. You can choose between a 1-year membership or a lifetime membership. So with the lifetime option, you pay once and gain unlimited access to all the images and tutorials for a whole lifetime. In the video description box below, you'll find discount codes for both membership types. I want to mention that if you use these links and codes, I receive a commission, which greatly supports my small creative business as well. Thank you so much if you decide to sign up or have already joined in the past using my link. Just a reminder, to receive the discounts, be sure to use the provided links. Thank you so much for considering the Digital Collage Club and supporting my creative journey. So I had to go with this Beatrix Potter World journal kit, obviously. It's just the cutest. And I've downloaded that kit. So let's see what we have. We have a folio. This is the back. This is the front. How adorable is that? Then we have some ephemera. Oh my goodness, these are so adorable. So some journaling cards, some pockets, and more journaling cards and tuck spots, I guess, or they could be used as belly bands or whatever you want. And then we have the full page journal pages. Oh my goodness. These are to die for. Tina, if you're watching this. So Tina is the owner of Making and Creating, which is where the Digital Collage Club is hosted. How adorable are these? Oh my goodness. They're so cute. You just want to grab them and hug them, right? Oh my God, look at this little cutie. This set is, oh my goodness, look at this guy with the flowers and the apron. Oh, wow. And oh my goodness, both of these and these. I'm in love. I'm seriously in love. Okay, so let's think about how to print these. These journal pages, I will print them on regular copy paper. Obviously, always in best quality, not the default quality that the printer gives me. And then this and this, since this is ephemera, I'm going to print it on heavier cardstock. If you can't print on heavier cardstock, just print on copy paper and then you could glue them onto cardstock. And this folio, usually I would print this on, that's a good question. If it was one-sided, I would print it on cardstock, but since it's two-sided, it's going to be too thick if I print both sides on cardstock. So either I print one side on cardstock and one side on regular copy paper, or I might actually just do both sides on copy paper. Okay, so that means I print everything on copy paper except this and this page. So that means I'm first going to select just my 2 ephemera pages and then say File, Print. Then, very important, I'm not printing all 19 pages, I'm just printing the selected 2. I can see them here in my preview. I'm printing in color. I'm always double checking that double-sided is not on because that has happened too many times. And then I'm changing media and quality. Here the quality to best quality. This is on a Mac. If you have a Windows computer, it's going to look different, but you will have similar options printing those. And next, I'm going to select everything else. So I have everything selected now. I'm going to deselect these 2 pages that I don't want printed. And then I go File, Print, Selection. So now I have 17 pages and I do the same thing. I change media quality to best and print those. So now I have my 2 pages of ephemera printed out on 100 GSM matte photo paper. Super cute. Then I have my folio printed on high quality copy paper. And I have 15 journal pages printed on regular copy paper. And I already made one mistake, which is that I should have printed these borderless because they would have fit. So when you're printing these out, make sure that you use envelopes where the half page of your journal pages will fit. You can always adjust the size that you print these pages on. You don't have to print them 100%. You could print 70%, 50%, whatever you want. Yeah, so I'll have to get rid of those white edges. So I have all of my pages cut out, and as you can see, I have cut them in half as well, because this is the size we will need to decorate our pages. So they will go on there like that. So cute. And I also cut out the ephemera. So we have these 3 journaling cards. We have these 2 pockets. We have these 2. I just decided to round all of the corners in the images. There were only like the top or the bottom ones rounded. And we have these 2. And for this one, this is very interesting because, where's the other half? There. So, you know, we printed this and this goes back to back. But the issue I have is when we put this back to back, the tabs don't line up. It doesn't work. And also if I turn it like this, it does not work. So I don't know if this was intentional, but I'm thinking there's a way we can make it work for us, which is to cut off the tabs here on the back side and then to just glue them on these. So I'm just going to take my ruler and extend this line from the folio down. Make sure that I'm straight, and that should do the trick. So this will be the inside, and then we glue one here and we glue the other one there. And I'll just use glue stick for that. Maybe double-sided tape would be another good option, but with the glue stick I have a little more wiggle room when I put this down. It's not perfect, but we're just going to adjust it here where we have some paper sticking out, and here as well. Then I'm going to score the creases. Actually, I should do it from this side. If you don't have a scoreboard, you just fold them. And I'm going to be very careful now because the paper is very, very delicate because of the glue layer, which is not dry. And if I push too hard, I could easily tear the paper. We don't want that. This is a very interesting folio. Never seen one like this. Huh. Getting back to our envelopes and the coffee dyeing. In the meantime, this liquid is fairly warm. I'm going to take this large foam brush. You can use just regular paint brushes. This will get the job done faster. And I'm just going to dip that in and go over the envelope like that. That is the fastest way I find to dye paper if you need it quickly, because you're not soaking it completely through like you would if you would just throw it into your bath of coffee. So it just dries quicker. So I'm going to do this for all my envelopes, and actually let's do a little more here. I'm of course mostly concerned with the edges because the rest will be covered. So I'll do that for all of my envelopes and put them on newspapers to dry. By the way, you can skip this step altogether if you want white envelopes, and then you could just edge your envelopes with walnut stain, vintage photo, whichever color you enjoy using. So while these dry, and I actually might put them on my balcony because it's beautifully sunny outside, I'm going to ink up all of these, or maybe not all of these, maybe I'll choose some because I don't need 30 of these. But I'll ink up all of the ephemera. One more thing about the coffee. I store this in a jar in my refrigerator. It keeps for many, many weeks. I don't add any vinegar or anything to it. For me, it does not mold for a long, long time. So I have inked up all my pages, all my ephemera, and as you can see, I've also sewn around all of my ephemera pieces twice with a black thread with a wonky running stitch. I think that adds so much character. These are our two pockets. Then we have these two pockets, these two, which I guess are going to be tuck spots. And lastly, the little folio I also sewed around. And for these pages, I only sewed around 5 pages. This I think is going to be my cover page. And then I chose 1, 2, 3, 4 to sew around, and then I have like I think 6 more or so that I chose for the inside, but I'm not even sure I'm going to need all of these. This guy just really gets me. Oh my goodness, he's so adorable. And I tried to vary the motifs, meaning I didn't choose all of the pages where the motifs are relatively large. I think it's more harmonious if you have some pages where you have a large image, then you have like a smaller focal point, and even these two here that don't really have any focal point, that are more background pages, because otherwise I think it just gets too much at once. So now there's a couple more things I want to do with this ephemera. First of all, for these two pockets, I want to use my envelope punch board to punch a notch on the top. Alternatively, you can use a small circle punch or an oval punch. I'll just re-ink those. I think that makes such a cute addition to a pocket. And then, surprise, surprise, we're going to add some gold splatters to all of the ephemera. Yes. Oops, that went right into his mouth. I'm so sorry. This time, let's be sure to cover their faces. So these are ready to go. They are dry, and I just wanted to show you the difference that these steps that we've taken so far have made to the character of the ephemera. So this is a print on high quality paper, best print. It's regular copy paper, so the colors are a lot more muted. If we take this, for example, this is my 100 GSM matte photo paper, to which we've added the inking around the edge, the sewing, and the gold splatters. So I have the feeling this one here on my right is a lot more alive than this one, with just a few simple steps. So then I also want to make these pages come alive a little bit more. First, I will add some gold splattering. And then I also want to add some distress mica stains. Alternatively, you could use metallic watercolors. I chose Wicked Elixir, Sugary Gumdrop, and Snow Flurries because I think these colors go really well with these prints. I have shaken them up well. Let's see if we can do it with the nozzle. Otherwise, we will use the brush. Oh no, that works really well. It's very easy to go overboard with these, so make sure you don't do that. This one is on the border of being too much, but I do want to add a little bit of the blue. There, that's it. This one can have a little bit more. Oops. And I will do that for all the other pages that I chose as well. So I've dried these quickly with my heat tool, and the interesting thing is that they have bled out. So you see in the middle we have the metallic color, and then you see the edging just kind of bled out. I don't know why this happened. I would understand if this was coffee dyed paper, but it's not. Because for example, when we look at this one where some splatters went on the side, we don't have this issue. How interesting is that? So apparently, because we used some ink on it, it is now soaked up more by the paper somehow. Very, very interesting. We're going to embrace this and continue on with the other papers that I have selected. That was lucky because I forgot to cover their faces. Oof. I'm really curious to figure out if metallic watercolors will have the same issue. So this is one of the papers I did not choose, although it's absolutely adorable. I don't have the exact same metallic colors, but I have a green, I have a red, I have a gold. To get a few bigger splatters, let's do the red. And finally the gold, which is more like a bronze than a gold actually. So these are now dry, and as we can see there's no bleeding. So we have the metallic shine without the bleeding that we have with the mica stains. How interesting! So this way you can now choose which you like better for your project. And I've just inked this one up as well because maybe I will use it after all. It's similar enough to fit with the others. These have all dried now. They actually almost flew off the balcony because there was a little bit of wind. Thankfully, I could still gather them all. Usually I wouldn't bother ironing coffee dyed papers, but for this project, I think we'll have a better result if we iron these a little bit. So I don't use any steam when I iron my paper. I really enjoy this task. I really don't enjoy ironing clothes, but ironing paper is just very calming, and it's, I don't know, it has such a satisfying feeling. I'm also ironing some coffee dyed paper that I have dyed some time ago. So you can see this also needs a little bit of ironing. Again, I usually wouldn't do this, but these have wrinkles that I don't really like. And by the way, I have a whole coffee dyeing playlist in case you want to see how I get results like these or what else I do with my coffee dyeing. And while I'm at it, why not add some interesting folds here? So on the one hand, I'm getting rid of some crinkles and some folds, and on the other hand, I want to add some. So for example, we could do this. Don't necessarily need to iron them down, but since we're here, why not? And I plan to use some of these for this folio for the journal part. So we have our ironed envelopes. Look how much flatter they are. So now we'll have some fun creating the folio. And I plan on just winging this. I have no idea how this is going to look in the end. So either we put these, you know what, let's take these off. They are sticky, which is not ideal for playing around with them. So I'm just going to take a piece of white candle and I'm going to rub over the sticky part. Much better, because these, as we can see, are going to stick to everything. Perfect. Okay, so maybe we put these together like so. And then we can put another one like that, so that we have boom and boom. Before we glue things down, let's try to think this through. We could, of course, add another one, but I don't think I'll do that. I think I'll leave it at 3. Then this one we could close and then add it to fold up on top here, like that. Maybe on the other side, we'll do the opposite. We'll close it and we'll have it fold down like that. I think that's a great starting point. So I'm going to glue these parts on before I move further, because otherwise I'm going to get very confused. Also, if this inside of your envelope disturbs you, then obviously you can line it with another paper. I'm not going to bother. But what does bother me is that these aren't cut very nicely. You see this little thingy there? I don't like it. So one thing we do need to pay attention to is that we glue this so that when we fold it in, we still have enough space that it doesn't hinder this fold right here. You know what I mean? So in this case, that is not an issue. So we line it up completely. Yeah, that actually still works. Okay, in this case, let's take this off, and we don't have to add candle to that because we do want this. You can just use glue stick. I'm faster with this and it's less messy for me. This is my beloved art glitter glue. So we'll line the crease up with the end of the envelope and make sure they line up on the top and the bottom. And we want to leave like maybe a 1/16 of an inch or even a little less, so that it folds over nicely. Because if we move it all the way to the crease, it's not going to fold as nicely as this will. So next we have to glue these. Again, I'm going to check. Yeah, it folds over nicely. So I'll add glue to this flap. I guess you could use double-sided tape, but I think it's kind of hard with a project like this because you do need to be able to slide it in. So not sure how well that's going to work, but if you are experienced and it works for you, then please do that. So then I'll also glue this flap down. These are going to get covered. So we have a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. Then we were going to attach one up here. I really like this, by the way. Unfortunately, it's going to get covered up. What a shame. So in this case, we're going to close the envelope. And then we attach it up here. Actually, I'll glue this part down. And here. Now here again, we need to make sure that once this is folded down, it will still easily fold. And that means that obviously our inner envelope is going to peek out from underneath because we can't move it all the way to the crease. And since I don't like it sticking out like this, I will cut a sliver off this envelope and we will make that into a pocket. And we're going to have the same issue on the other envelope, so we might as well do that one too. Doesn't really matter on which side because we could turn it either way. So again, I'm cutting off like 1/8 of an inch approximately. Okay, so we have the open side here. So this is going to be attached like this. And to do that, I will just use a piece of coffee dyed paper, cut it to the same width as my envelope. And the width is, I would say, approximately 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. And we're going to need 2 of these because we need to do the other envelope as well. So that's perfect. We'll just use both of these strips. So I'll glue one here, and I have these edges here lined up. And we can just snip this part off. So that folds down and this folds over and everyone is happy. And we'll do the opposite then for this envelope. In this case, I want my pocket. No, I'll have it from this side. I guess since I'm right-handed, I find it easier to pull something out from this side. So take our second paper strip, line these 2 edges up again, and adhere that. So that closes and that closes, and all is good. Of course, we want to fit in some journal pages as well. So one goes up, one goes down. So I decided now I want my journal signature right here in this crease. So I'm going to get rid of these two pockets because it will be very hard to get something in here once we have a signature in there. And also I want to make this crease more sturdy since we'll be sewing through it. So I'm going to add some coffee dyed paper over that. So I'll just measure the height. And the width should be enough to go over this gap here in between. So let's glue that over our gap. Then I'd like to have another flip out, fold out on the top here. So we have our open pocket there. So that's not a good place to add it, but we can add it to this side. I think adding the full size is a bit much. So instead, let's close this one. And then we could attach it so that we could have a tuck spot here. And then this could be like a fold out. So you could really go as crazy as you want with these. I think they are so fun.
Mwah, mwah.